do we get out of this game alive?
You can't. It only ends when all the players are dead. And your turn's next.
Intensity is not in this game's vocabulary.
I have to ask you, truth or dare?
How's it going, ladies and gentlemen? Hope you're having a great day. You're not drinking and playing stupid games, and if you are playing games, hopefully it's a video game and not bullshit trash like Spin the Bottle or teenage drama that most people get up to these days. Speaking of which, did you see something that was treated so serious but came across as convoluted, annoying, had too many problems? Talking about Truth or Dare. If you were to look up this movie, it's not the 11 films that exist. More specifically, Blumhouse's Truth or Dare. There is more than one movie with this same title, because obviously that would have been a problem. Or you just look up the only good movie that has Truth or Dare in the title, which isn't saying much. Directed by Wudlow, starring Hale, Tyler Posey, Violett Beane, Hayden Szeto, Sophia Taylor-Ali, Nolan Landon Liboiron, and Sam Lerner. Based on the game of the same name, but with a bit of a twist involving teenagers that get stuck into a simple game to a nightmare. Is this movie's premise memorable, or is it just as bad as the actual game filled with terrible ideas? Might as well start it off, kick it into the good. So the opening is strong, like a really good shocking moment that is able to grab your attention and really keep you invested for, alright, we'll say the majority of the movie. Really good acting from the main characters, especially Hale and Hayden Szeto. Hayden Szeto, in my opinion, is probably the funniest part of this movie. Good character depth, and he's able to show his emotions in different ways. You do feel for him. The characters know that this is just a kid's game, so they're not playing it out to be serious. Whatever it is, can't hurt them until eventually something bad happens. Really good death scenes, like a pen in the eye, being shot at point blank range. A whole lot of different ideas, but obviously they couldn't do too much because it was a PG-13 movie. As well as the truths. The truths that are shown here are quite shocking, and they add into that dramatic value of you actually trying to feel for the characters. The twist at the end is smart. Selfish, but it works out very well. But at the same time, you sort of saw it coming. The way that the end did play out, an interesting idea. One that you wouldn't really expect to see most of the time. But now, we are unfortunately going to go into the bad because that's all I have to say on the good. This is done by Blumhouse. If you know Blumhouse's movies, some of their most recognizable films, Us, Get Out, Insidious, The Purge, even Happy Death Day, the pinnacle of horror for many, many years throughout this decade. Blumhouse has also produced some of the worst, terrible, not very well done horror films that are just aimed at teens in order to get them in the seats. And sadly, this is one of them. Remember how I said that the opening was one of the best parts? Turns out that that was the only thing that came up when this idea was pitched. Let's come up with a whole story surrounding just this opening scene. When you think about it, the start is very different to the rest of the movie. MA, more mature rating, and the rest of it is PG-13 fodder. It cuts from such a dramatic opening into a forgetful piece of fluff. Since this is intended for a teen audience, you don't have to make the teens dumb. I'm sick of movies show off that it's a teen drama. All they do is just drink, cheat on boyfriends, and use Facebook. You realize the teens have more knowledge and are smarter than this, right? Cabin in the Woods, for example. That's one of the only movies I can think of where they actually show the emotion and knowledge through the teenagers. With this, there's no mention of it. They just go straight into spring break. But even on spring break, I've seen different people react differently. How they're supposed to go about their studies. What they're supposed to do after spring break is over. With this, you couldn't even tell these kids were in college. Half the time they're not. Sorry, high school. Half the time, they're not even in school. Maybe one scene, and it has nothing to do with the rest of the movie. I can't even tell, were these kids in university, or were they in high school? I know they're doing spring break, understandable. There's no way of showing it, because they're living in a house together, screams university. But at the same time, spring break is usually something that we Australians call schoolies. It doesn't know what it's doing. All teens care about are sex and booze, but there's more than that. And I just wanted them to explore that a bit more. Feels like a shot in one take. Always that will do. We've got this scene down. Perfect. They're in the church. Alright, cut, next scene. That'll do. Sadly, that's not enough. Then it tries throwing emotion into the mix by introducing parental figures that ultimately don't lead to anything. There's one parent who is not even around for it. He's in the video, showing off the emotion. Obviously, we know that he's not around anymore. Constantly thinking to ourselves, okay, so what happened to him? Divorce? No, that's too easy for this type of movie. Oh, he probably died. And the way that I just said that is exactly the same way that they showed it in the movie.
Since my dad took his life.
Where's the emotion? Where's the intensity? You're showing this video of someone who is gone. A father figure. Someone that you look up to. And they just forget about it. This should have been the driving force of one of the characters. Who is a main, by the way. But if we're supposed to be feeling for her, why have we only got one video clip of him? Wouldn't she have kept a whole lot of different ones? Something to hold on to? Instead of just one video clip that we see twice. So how do the other characters interact? This obviously has something to do with the rest of them. Oh, I know. Olivia is the reason why her father's dead.
I told him that you'd be better off if you were dead.
Oh, you're not serious. The CGI, bad. Like, looking at this, it is like you were literally looking through a Snapchat filter. They say it in the movie. If you don't believe me, you know what?
It looked like a messed up Snapchat filter.
That's all this is. Messed up Snapchat filters, Facebook, Instagram. This is a teen movie. Like, no joke. This is all you see. Now, this was done in 2018. You could have had more depth with your characters. If you're only focusing on a specific audience, then you're only going to be getting that audience. And I don't think they're going to be taking this movie as well as you want them to. You need to be able to relate to more than just one demographic. If you're doing it to just get money out of people, congratulations. This movie made $96 million off a $3.5 million budget. But if you want to show a good storyline and proper depth, you need to focus on more than one audience. But the deaths are laughable. They've got some good ones, but they're laughable. Probably the funniest one, someone breaking their neck on a pool table by stepping on a pool ball. They couldn't think of anything else. This movie is Americans, that means PG-13, so we can't go too violent with it. Otherwise we'll scare people, and that's not what we're about. You're Blumhouse. You need to do scares and shock value to be able to do this right. But the writing forgets what's going on half the time. The very rules of the game change halfway through the movie. People who are possessed, sometimes they forget, other times they don't. Stick with one. A homeless person breaks in and is possessed by the demon. It's a demon that is in charge of this game, don't ask. Basically forces to say her next truth or dare question. But then immediately he snaps out of it and he forgets where he is. Within 10 minutes, they've got another shot of someone else in the game who was asking another person. They don't even realize that they were possessed. You can't make up rules as you go. The writing falls so flat that it forgets what it's saying half the time.
Something burned, truth or dare, on my arm.
Show me.
It's gone now, but
There's nothing there.
Did he not just say that? Think! Where's the thought process here? One scene that I thought to myself be a cool way of being able to show this. They stuff that up too. The dare is to sleep with someone. The best friend of the boyfriend. They start to go at it, but I'm sorry, I've seen a better scene in 50 Shades. What the hell is this? He's not even kissing her. Pucker your lips, mate. That's how you do it. No. He was asked to sleep with the person. All I could think was, that was quick. The timeline is all messed up. If the nun that was involved in this, 1898 or something, which is what they actually do say, and she's still alive, according to this, if it's 2018, wouldn't she be like 100 or something? Everything is spelled out. And they gave the bad guy a knife. You don't give the bad guy a knife. I understand he's supposed to do something with it, but if you got a gun to his head, he has a knife. He could just as easily spin around and just slice you. But no, even then, he doesn't even have that idea. Clearly, these people didn't see The Irishman.
Charge with a gun, with a knife you run.
Where are the parents in all this? I'm not talking the ones that are killed off screen to add emotion that honestly don't even come up into the fucking film. But the other ones, we see one parent in the entire movie. Surely all these kids have got other people that would be focusing on them. It could have added into a bit more intensity. She killed herself and they show a picture of it or something. This movie goes for an hour 40. 40 minutes of that is just fodder. Ideas there, but not enough to show for it. And that's all this movie is. Ideas. What if this happened? What if we introduce this? What if we throw this into the mix as well? It's always what if, and not enough. The cast of Riverdale are having a bad season. They decided to change things up a bit. It's a game that doesn't feel like it's worth playing. Truth or dare, DJ? The fuck? Truth or dare? dare. I dare you to tell the truth. Oh, well that's... fine. You want the truth? This movie sucks. Wait. What? You heard me. This movie sucks. Capital U's in there, as in you suck. So you can go and take your stupid little fucking game somewhere else. You know, maybe go to a studio that actually cares. Oh, I'm sorry. No one cares about this because this movie is so fucking stupid. It doesn't belong anywhere.
Okay, this really didn't turn out the way that I thought it would.
Maybe with a bit more time, a bit more effort, a bit more energy, some better ideas that could have culminated into this story, not using supernatural stuff. Drama. The teenagers play this game. Truths and dares and stuff like that. It goes through cyberbullying. Plays with teenagers nowadays have to deal with. That ultimately lead to suicide or something like that. That could have been a real emotionally charged sort of movie. And instead it just turns into a lame-ass ghost flick. So that's my answer.
Okay, well, I'll just leave then.
Alright, yep, see ya, bye. That's why Truth or Dare, sorry, Blumhouse's Truth or Dare gets... Now, I always like to end my review... Now, I always like to end my reviews with a quote from the film. And my favorite quote was... Oof, bad break. You'll know when you see it. But that being said, did you see it? Will you see it? And if so, let me know in the comments. Until then, I've been DeeJsee. And always remember, did you see it? Well, that was terrible. Oh, what? You mean to tell me that he's got another one on the horizon?
I'm on Fantasy Island. I'm in a super creepy control room, and I'm about to get this thing started.
Oh, no!